Hey guys, Friday, and I'm about to listen to some music, and also I'm going to do a small review on this cables that I have in here. So stay tuned because I'm about to give you some great information. Enjoy my turntable, which is Concept Sonos Faber speakers, and we're going to talk about these cables right now. Okay. Now, and like I said, I'll be showing you what I found when taking a close look at Audioquest cables. I have these four models in here, and I'm just gonna show you, what I find out. As you know, Audioquest is a respected brand of cables, and over the years, Audioquest has gone from a company driven by innovative and high-performance cable design into a marketing powerhouse. And I have heard that Audioquest is now referred as a new monster cable. And what I'm about to show you, possibly it is going to show you that it supports that description, okay? Now, me as an audiophile, I have friends and people that ask me, about audio components and cables. And a friend of mine asked me my opinion about difference between moderately priced Audioquest cables. So I didn't have a good answer. So I found some 1 meter cables right here. And what I did, I took them apart to, to find out what's going on with the cables. In here I have the Evergreen. This retails about $50, followed by the Golden Gate. This one goes for about 80. The Big Sur, it's about $130. And then in here we have the Sydney, which is priced at $200. Now the price that I gave you there for 1 meter cables. Now physically they all look familiar. They all look very, very the same. And I can show you here that if you look closely, the Evergreen, the Golden Gate, and the Big Sur are basically the same cables. They have, the same characteristics. The only thing that changes in here is the jacket, but everything else, it looks exactly the same. And when I look about the Sydney is just simply a little bit fatter, but it's because they changed the jacket to a thicker one. And also the conductor, right here, the connector is silver, and these all are gold plated. And now the similarities in all these four is because they have one cable and two splitters, two legs. Right here you see leg right and left. All of them are exactly the same, and all the legs and left and right. And the problem with this is that if the connectors are too far apart, these cables will not work because you don't have a lot of room for them to be connected the proper way. You see, the legs are way too close. Now, yeah, most components, that they have the RCA right underneath, one or the other. But if you have a special something that requires a longer cable, these cables will not work. Now, and as you can see, all these cables, they have the same characteristics. So what I did, I cut away that piece of it's like a plastic, and I got the Evergreen right here. And as what I found out is that this is a very, very thin, very thin material that is right here. And I also saw how the copper conductors are connected to the RCA connector. And the method that they use, it is called cold welding. That is what Audioquest it is calling. And what they're doing, it is crimping the cables right there. And the crimping, it is done by applying a large amount of pressure to the conductor, or the conductor itself. Now this weakens the cables at the place in which is crushed, making it very easy to fracture, like it happened, right here. Let me see if I can focus, the camera. You can see that crimping actually cut the cable. If you move it too much, that's potentially what's going to happen. And I'm assuming that's why is what they put this jacket, so that the bending does not happen. But in this case, actually, you can see that it did happen. Now, and another thing that they could happen is the connection. It is exposed to the atmospheres and will actually immediately begin to oxidize. Copper slowly changes into copper dioxide, which is an insulator. Okay, and over the time, the cable's conductivity will decline, along with the musical performance as well. Most cables that I have seen, the conductors are soldered to the connector. This is the only ones that I have seen that they use this method. Everything else, they use sort of soldering, material to put it together. And I strongly believe that soldering makes the permanent connection between the conductor and the connector. Also, the solder covers the connection, protecting from oxidation. Now, so let's look at the internal cable construction. And as you can see, I stripped away, the outer jacket on these cables, and I also removed the shielding itself. And what I can see is that all four cables, they have the same technology. They use twisted pair technology, as you can see, and also they use aluminum and mylar shielding. You can see it right there. Now, I used a micrometer to measure the conductor's diameters, and I found out that the gauges of the two conductors on each twister pair of the full models are actually the same. One conductor is 24 gauge, and the other one is 26 gauge. I looked at the Audioquest website, and they state that Evergreen is made from a linear crystal copper. Golden Gate is made with a perfect surface copper. Big Sur and Sydney use perfect surface copper. And I'm guessing that there is something better than perfect, perfect plus. Those type of coppers are only found in Audioquest marketing. So I'm guessing this is a marketing, strategy that they use with a perfect surface copper. Now, looking at the shielding, it looks to be identical for the Evergreen, the Golden Gate, and the Big Sur. And it's an aluminum mylar wrapped around each pair, and another around both pairs. And you can actually see it right there. Aluminum mylar, it is great for rejecting electromagnetic fields over 1 megahertz, but it does very little for lower frequencies in the kilohertz range, where AM radio it is usually transmitted. Copper braided shielding, it is what generally it is used to offer lower frequency protection, but actually it adds a little bit of cost because it could be a little expensive. And as you can see, the Sydney right here has got an additional carbon shield, but everything else, they have the same characteristics. Now, and even though the same characteristics, as you can see, the Sydney in here is a little bit fatter. That's the only difference, but they're basically the same. So in theory, all this review, what I'm trying to say is that all these cables, they are priced differently, from $50 to $200, but they're basically, almost the same. And the only real difference is is in the color of the cable. And, you know, that's what I found out. You know, you can make your own decision or what are the cable's value. But my suggestion for will be if you're shopping for audio cables, ask about the construction and how one model differs from another. There is a very little difference between, this cable's in here, and I'm pretty sure there is going to be little difference in performance. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I mean, I'm not bad mouthing, Audioquest, but when you peel the banana, this is what I found out. These cables are basically, the same. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll keep enjoying my music that is going to start happening tonight. Take care, guys.